The study of leadership is about 120 to 150 years old. Of course, leadership has existed ever since humanity emerged, but the study of leadership is somewhat new. It emerged in the 1900s. The most common kind of leadership is autocratic leadership. There is one boss who tells other people what to do. Typically, it's a male. That is what has been so in many societies for thousands, if not tens of thousands of years. And that male is autocratic. That's the first kind of leadership, directive autocratic leadership. But after the Second World War, interest turned towards not just that kind of leadership, but towards leadership in particular transactions, individual transactions. The war created a lot of disruption. People now became very transaction oriented. And then in the 1960s, situational leadership emerged as a key concept. Leaders need to adapt to their situations. Wonderful idea, very effective idea, but very difficult to implement. So that led to the notion of transformational leadership, which is a big thing in the 1980s. Leaders are there to transform, not just incrementally improve companies and societies, but to bring about transformational change. But the problem with transformational leadership is it can be too much of big change. People get cynical, people get tired. There is no effective implementation. Then came the notion of servant leadership, not just about doing, but about serving. Serving your customers, serving clients. Servant leadership doesn't go beyond the needs of what customers articulate. It may be that customers don't really understand their own needs, the deep needs, and may not be able to sense the future. And that led to the notion of charismatic leadership. That maybe it's not just about serving, it's also about vision, pointing the way, having charisma, having this kind of personality. So in the 2000s, charismatic leadership emerged. But the problem with charismatic leadership, you may have a great vision and you may have tremendous charisma or personality, but you could lead people the wrong way. And that emerged in the wake of a number of scandals. So that led in the 2010s, about 10, 15 years ago, to the notion of ethical leadership, ethical, authentic, virtuous leadership, doing the right things. It's all about who you are as a person. Are you an ethical, authentic, and virtuous person? Not about what you do, but who you are as a person. But this also has a problem. The problem with these leadership approaches is, yes, it is important who you are as a leader, but outcomes also matter. You also need to accomplish things. Especially in today's world, you have a lot of KPIs, targets, deadlines. Doing also matters. You need to be good at doing and you need to be good at being. Who you are and what you do, both matter. And that is where Beingful Leadership comes in. This program will focus on Beingful Leadership. You are integrating both what you do and who you are together. How to do so is the big challenge. And that's what Beingful Leadership is about, to really integrate the work in the first half of last century and the work in the last half of the last century into an integrated, holistic approach of doing and being.